The Giants did it. The Giants did it. And it's funny because I was going to make a video early on this week talking about how I think the Giants can actually pull out this game. And it's not me just talking about it now because of hindsight and we actually won this game. No, I actually thought that we had a chance in this game. Not that we would win this game, but I thought we had a fighting chance in this game due to how beat up this Carolina Panthers team is right now and where they're at as a franchise as well. They are down in the dumps as well. You talk to any of those fans of the Carolina Panthers, and the Carolina Panthers fans are just as depressed and heartbroken as we are. They started off 3-0. They're now on a 4-game losing streak. Before this game, they were on a 3-game losing streak, and things were just like off the rails. They really wanted to fire everybody. They want to fire Rule already. They want to get rid of Sam Darnold. They want to get a new running back because Christian McCaffrey can't stay healthy. And so that's what's pretty much going on in that fan base right now for the Carolina Panthers. And, just looking at it, it reminded me a lot of the New York Giants. I'm just saying, why not us? Why can't we win this game when they're in pretty much the same position as we are in, just with 2 more wins than us? So the Giants come out with this game victorious. I'm so excited. There was a lot of great things you could take away from this New York Giants game. If you look at the fact that Daniel Jones really had to do this on his own. You saw Daniel Jones throw the ball, you saw Daniel Jones run the ball, and you also saw Daniel Jones catch the ball, and in which he caught a Philly special-like play where Dante Pettis was given the ball by, I believe it was Devontae Booker that gave him the ball. I could be wrong, but either way, Dante Pettis grabs it up, throws it for Daniel Jones, slightly overthrown. Daniel Jones makes an amazing one-handed catch. It looked fantastic. It was for a first down. And, man, at that point, I was just like, we were already, winning that game. We were already winning that game pretty handedly. I believe it was 18-3 at the time. And I believe that was on the same drive where we got our 25th point. But that being said, that was an amazing highlight play, and the Giants are actually having amazing plays. Even the Devontae Booker has not been running the ball great as of late, but he had a great run towards the end, and it's again that touchdown as well. So they're doing a lot of good things here offensively with the lack of talent. Dante Pettis was just brought up from the practice squad. David Sills had an opportunity here, had 1 target but 1 drop, so he was never seen again. So it was pretty much Darius Slayton who really did well for this receiving core. Darius Slayton we talk about a lot. He drops a lot of balls, but he was there today. He also was seen deep down the field. Daniel Jones missed them. That could have been a touchdown there. But, some missed opportunities there, especially defensively as well. Defensively, we missed out on a couple of interceptions in this game, but we came up strong. James Bradbury had himself an interception in which they kind of ran like a crossers sort of concept there with a wheel route and a post route, and James Bradbury's assignment was on the post route, and he had to fall back from there and get that wheel route, cover that wheel route, and get the interception. James Bradbury had a really good game today. DJ Moore was just, you barely heard about DJ Moore. I know the stats say that he had, six catches, 73 yards. He had 10 targets. He just wasn't great. He wasn't fantastic. 12 yards per averaging 12 yards. Let me just put this up here so you guys can see this here, so we could just talk about it together instead of me just looking at it. But man, this team played great defensively. You look at Azeez Ojulari has had 2.5 sacks in this game. Leonard Williams, I believe, had 1 as well. 2.5 sacks in this game. That brings him up to 5.5 sacks, and that ties him for the rookie single-season sack record for the New York Giants. Franchise record. Well, he ties the franchise record for a rookie. And so let's see if he should at least get a half sack by the end of this season, which brings him to making history and being the single-season sack leader or single-season sack record holder as a rookie, as a New York Giant. So, fantastic performance. But, there were a lot of things that I didn't like as well, okay? Some of the play calling, although I'll tip my cap to Jason Garrett. He called himself a really good game. There was still a lot of things I thought was very questionable and stuff that we just can't get away from. Every game that we have, even the games where we look good, we can't get away from some of these plays. The red zone. the red zone play calling is so piss poor. It's either we run straight up the middle, or we run from the gun, or we roll out with one receiver looking to catch a pass. I don't like the position that Daniel Jones is constantly put in the red zone inside the 5. We were inside the 5, first down, and we elected to run the ball twice. Then on third down, throw the ball, and on fourth down, not go for it. I think it was run the ball, then pass the ball, then 2 runs. And we were stopped at the goal line at the 1-yard line, and we left points on the board. We could have had 30-something points in this game if we would have to score those points right there, whether it was by Daniel Jones' hand or not. There's just another missed opportunity here. We were lucky to play the Carolina Panthers, where they're going through their own struggles right now at the quarterback position offensively. And, we were lucky to pull away with that with 25 points, but we left a touchdown on the board when it came to that. But Carolina, this is the first time the Giants have allowed a score in the first drive. I think that's what the announcer said. It's the first time that the Giants allowed a score in their first drive defensively, and that was the only time the Carolina Panthers scored after that. They only scored 3 points, and that was in their first drive. So they did not score a touchdown. I believe this is the first time in a very long time that we pull away with a game here where the opposing team does not score a touchdown, which excites me a lot. So, Sam Darnold, let's start off with the quarterbacks here. Sam Darnold had a piss-poor game, 16-25, 111 yards, and an interception, no touchdowns, was sacked 3 times for 11 yards, quarterback rating of 57.3. He had himself a really, really bad game. Not only was he off the mark, receivers were dropping his balls. I mean, he wasn't able to get anything going on offense. His athleticism was failing him. He's usually a little bit more shifty in the pocket. He had himself 3 sacks of himself, and P.J. Walker got sacked 3 times himself. So the Giants had 6 sacks, which I believe is a record in a very long time. I don't remember the last time this team had 6 sacks. That's insane to me. But P.J. Walker didn't do a very good job as well. He was 3 of 14. Oh my gosh, 3 of 14. But had a couple. It doesn't even show his completion percentage. But either way, just a terrible game for both those quarterbacks. Daniel Jones, 23 of 33, 203 yards, and a touchdown. Like, his stats don't jump off the page for you, right? That's not what Daniel Jones really does this season. His stats aren't going to jump off the page for you. You're not going to, like, not watch these games and then look later on and say how these guys did, and then look at these scores or these stats from Daniel Jones and said, oh my God, he had a fantastic game. But you got to watch him play. You got to see what he was dealing with as well. I mean, Darius Slayton was a fine receiver today. He did a very good job. 5 receptions, 63 yards on 9 targets. Evan Ingram actually came up big for us today as well. Caught a couple of passes, but I think 2 or 3 of them were like, tight end screens, were like 3rd down and 15 situations. Dante Pettis came up big for us as well, had a touchdown of his own, had a really long slant pattern that went for 27 yards. That was his longest catch of the day. John Ross wasn't called up too many times, but in his 2 targets, he got 2 receptions, 27 yards. Kyle Rudolph had an almost touchdown today and had a good catch, but right before that as well. So great job by him. Colin Johnson wasn't even used as much as we thought. Tommy Tremble, this is a guy that people were trembling at his name, right? Tommy Tremble was a guy that people thought would be a absolute nuisance for us, and I thought the same. I thought that Tommy Tremble, those backup tight ends for the New York Giants, are just not a good matchup. I thought he was going to have a touchdown or 2 on this game. I thought he was going to have a couple of plays in the seam over linebackers, but that just wasn't the game plan for the Carolina Panthers offense. I really don't know what their game plan was, because they started running the ball. They're running it effectively, but even when the game was still in reach and they didn't have to panic, they started to throw the ball, and that was unsuccessful, but they kept doing it, and they were very successful running the ball. They ran for 144 yards today, 7.6 yards per carry. Oh, that's receiving. I'm sorry. They ran for 56 yards today. They were still successful. That just looks completely off, but they were still successful running the ball, especially in the first 2 drives. They were definitely successful running the ball. Chuba Hubbard looked really good, but he started to deteriorate after after a while. 12 carries, 28 yards, 2.3 yards per carry. And that was pretty much it. Royce Freeman and his 3 carries, they're pretty good, 6 yards per carry. But offensively, they really shocked me today. 25 points in a game without Sterling Shepard, without Kenny Galladay, without Kadarius Toney, without really your 3 best receivers. I know Darius Slayton was a starter before Kadarius Toney came on. But your 3 best receivers, without those 3, without your starting running back, without half of your offensive line, the fact that you still pulled away with 25 points says a lot. And I don't know if it says a lot about the Giants offense, or maybe it says a lot about how bad the Carolina Panthers played just as a whole. They were really, really defeated. They really just sucked today. All right. Flat out just sucked. I mean, Hassan Reddick was a presence today, but Brian Burns was all over the place. But somehow the Giants still only allowed 2 sacks today, which is crazy. That means that Daniel Jones was getting the ball out extremely quick, and that he was. He was getting the ball out extremely quick. It really wasn't the offensive line and pass protecting that really did well. It was Daniel Jones getting out the pocket and getting the ball out quickly. That's exactly how this offense needs to work with the offensive line that we have, and I really tip my cap to Jason Garrett for adjusting to that. Really do that. And so I'm excited to see what we have when all these pieces come back. Obviously, there are some that are going to be out longer than others. We should be expecting Sterling Shepard back the next week and against the Kansas City Chiefs, who have been struggling, so we could try to take advantage there. Maybe we could pull a Detroit Lions versus Rams, like what's happening right now. Detroit is up 13-3 against the Rams. But maybe we could try doing that. And we get Sterling Shepard back. Hopefully, let's see if we get Saquon back. Maybe we get Saquon back. Maybe we get Kadarius Toney back. We're definitely not going to get Andrew Thomas back, so we're still going to see this offensive line struggle. But the good thing is that this defense for Kansas City Chiefs is not very good as far as rushing the passer, so I'm not too worried about that. So that being said, players of the game, obviously, players of the game, Daniel Jones offensively, he's one player of the game pretty much every single game. And Azeez Ojulari, who, despite not getting playing time early on in the season, he's definitely progressed to being that. He definitely played a full-time pass rusher role in this game. I think they're putting a lot more trust in Azeez Ojulari. Had himself 2.5 sacks. Dexter Lawrence played himself a really good game as well. Had a lot of pressures. Leonard Williams had 1.5 sacks of his own as well. And so this team is doing really good. Quincy Roche had a really good tackle for loss early on in this game in a screen pass. So really, really good job by this team defensively, offensively. Great showing. Even in the special teams game, we were getting good yardage on punt and kick returns. So nothing else really to say there. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. We're on to the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City lost 27-3. Terrible game by Patrick Mahomes. He got helped off the field. He was hurt, so maybe that'll help us. Maybe he'll be hurt going into this game against the Chiefs. I don't care. If people are hurt, people are hurt. I just want to win. So hopefully the Giants have an opportunity to win that game. And despite who's playing. But, yeah, that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Go freaking Giants.